All right, we're ready. Hi everyone, we continue our weather impact alert coverage here on CBS 19 Plus, our YouTube channel, and of course our Facebook page. Now that we're done with CBS 19 News, if we have to go back on air, that would happen if we had a tornado warning. But right now, we just have a severe thunderstorm warning in Anderson, Freestone, and Leon counties until 7:45. Otherwise, flash flood warning till 9:45. That continues for Gregg, Harrison, Panola, and Rusk counties, with heavy rainfall still in parts of southern Gregg County and parts of central and eastern Rusk County, and then heavy rainfall extending all the way back into northern Cherokee County and southern Smith County right now. So southeastern Smith County in part of that flash flood warning. And the flash flood warning is considered considerable. So the National Weather Service using that language when they want to stress that the flash flooding here could be life-threatening if you get heavy enough rainfall. And in these areas, the rainfall totals could be anywhere from 2 to 4 inches of rainfall, if not more. And just looking back at these thunderstorms that are moving into Anderson County that should track across that same area tonight, I could easily see where we would have something of that situation where we would have some serious flash flooding. We do have video tonight. This is going to be Alan Casper. He is out. He was in Bullard, I believe. He's at a park where there is a lot of water in that park right now. Some water that has washed out into the park. And then also on the roadways, you can see some just wet. This is steady rain right now. It doesn't look too heavy from our CBS on-scene vehicle as he continues to drive. But look over in the median, you can see all the water that has gathered in between the road. A little bit earlier this evening, we did have reports that there was water over the roadway, so perhaps that has receded just a little bit. But this is the type of situation that you could see as we head into the evening. Rain restricts visibility just a little bit, so just be mindful of that. Then if you do come across some higher water, please don't try to drive through that. We just don't know how deep that water is. Even if you're familiar with the roadway, you know, the water could have washed out part of that roadway, and so it would easily be deceiving. Look at the water standing water along the road, just giving you an indication of how much rain has fallen. In fact, it looks like that might have at one point been on the roadway, and now it's receded back into those culverts on either side. There's a good shot there from Alan at that right in front of that house, that neighborhood there, with water up to the fence, and there's more just deep water that you can see along the road. Again, he's out in southern parts of Smith County, northern Cherokee County, and giving us views from the different cameras that are perched atop the CBS 19 on-scene vehicle. So that's the way things look out in that part of Smith County, northern Cherokee County, where we do have flash flood warnings continue. All right, back to the radar here tonight. And so Alan is essentially right in this area here where you can see there's thunder, there's lightning, though we could not hear any lightning on that on-scene car, but certainly there. I'm just going to zoom in here to this area, southern Smith County, right there. Troop, one of those cities impacted by the heavier rainfall, Henderson and Laneville. Rusk is also right on the edge of this flash flooding, over toward Carthage, up to Wascom, and then northward toward Bel Air. Longview is just outside of the flash flood warning that goes until 9:45, but we did have an update now. Gregg, Smith, Upshur counties have been added back into the flash flood warning until 9 p.m. So we have flash flooding till 9 p.m. Brownsboro looks like it's out of that. Frankston's also out of that. But when you go back here toward Long Lake, this is a pretty heavy thunderstorm here down toward Buffalo. Just look at this little appendage. This thunderstorm here is moving into the environment, which is going to be closer to southern Anderson County, northern Houston County toward Crockett and Kennard, and then southern Cherokee County near Alto and Nacogdoches, that still has some energy available, that if that thunderstorm could maintain its current path and it can get into that environment before the front gets here. The showers and thunderstorms, once they arrive, they pretty much end the threat of severe weather. For instance, when I look back here toward Longview and Tyler, the tornado threat is over. The tornado threat is over in Jacksonville, and it's over in Henderson. It's the flash flood threat. But on the leading edge down toward Alto, that's the area, in southern parts of Rusk County down toward Mount Enterprise, that's the area where there could still be enough turning and twisting in the atmosphere that you would have a tornado warning. Though right now, when you look at our wind tracker. Red is going to be winds going away from the National Weather Service radar site in Shreveport. Green is going to be going toward, and right now this is a really good view here where you can easily see that separation, but there's no greens embedded in the red. There are no reds embedded in the green. That's what we would be looking for. So this looks like this is just going to be some heavier rainfall at this time. In fact, let me look at, we're going to look here. This is turbulent. So we are getting gusty winds out of this. We've had reports that we have a couple trees knocked down around the area up toward, I believe it was, now I'm going to forget here, but we've had just different reports around Overton. That was where we had a couple of gusty showers or gusty thunderstorms that might have knocked down a tree or two or some branches. I showed you on CBS 19 News at 6:30. We had video from the Gale and Clay Booth of some trees knocked down in the Bullard area, and heavy rainfall there. So we do have some gusty winds embedded in these thunderstorms, and so that will continue. But currently, no tornado warnings associated with that. Just heavy rain. I'll put this into motion for us, and you'll see that we have these little Titan indicators here. I keep those on just in case we get something that would indicate some spin in the atmosphere, and we're not seeing anything like that currently. Just a lot of rainfall, though. Again, I would be more concerned about this area here as it tries to sort of start moving to the east and encountering that warmer air. But when you look back toward Waco, back toward Rosebud, you have to go all the way back to Killeen. However, notice this little line here. It's an outflow boundary. So that outflow boundary, once these storms get behind that outflow boundary, they become elevated. So it's tougher for those storms to become tornadic. That's why the concern is out here over deep East Texas if we're going to see anything like that. All right. I'll zoom back out, show you that to those thunderstorms. Flash flood warning right now, city of Waco. That continues, and that heavy rain continues. The lightning strikes have been about 1,600 lightning strikes in a matter of 15 minutes. So all of these lightning strikes would indicate that there are ice crystals in the thunderstorm. The ice crystals, or the amount of moisture in the thunderstorm, can be converted into raindrops. That rain, of course, falls down to the surface, and then you're talking about heavier rainfall. So let me see if we go to the rainfall rates here. And I'm going to zoom in around the areas just so we can take a look. We'll just go into Tatum. What we're going to do is match up the Tatum rainfall rates here in this dark purple, and that's going to be 1 to about 1.5 inches of rainfall an hour. Now, it doesn't rain for an hour because the thunderstorms move through, so you know that's just a burst of rain. We come back to the west, look at between Bullard and Jacksonville, where Alan Casper was driving, and we are getting here into this more so 1.5 to 1, a little bit heavier than that in that area, so about 1 to 1.5 inches of rainfall an hour moving toward Mount Selman and Pomona. So heavy rainfall going to cross over Highway 69. If there was some flooding there and it eased up, that flooding will become accentuated by this heavier rainfall, and then all this heavy rainfall back here toward Bradford down to Palestine is going to track over into that same area. So here's future skycast, and I adjusted this, and I may need to adjust it even farther to the south. But this is going to show you how these showers and thunderstorms kind of persist here, at least in the timing until about 10 o'clock, though they'll start to move into deep East Texas and take that flash flood threat away. Remember, we do have flash flood warnings till 9:45 for a few counties, and then till 9 o'clock in Smith and Gregg County. This is all over by Thursday morning. I'm going to go back to the beginning here on this. I wanted to talk about the weather impact alert until 10 o'clock, and the National Weather Service using the term life-threatening with the heavy rainfall and the flash flooding that we're seeing out there. And the need, of course, you can, if you have your mobile app, if you have the CBS 19 app, you have your mobile device, and the National Weather Service sends out those warnings, the weather emergency alert system will kick on like it did for the flash flood warning that we had here in Smith County. And it says that there's a considerable flash flooding possible. And so the biggest threat would be just to, or the biggest impact or need would be to avoid driving into that heavy rain. So it really has moved away from, say, a tornadic threat, more so toward a, let's call it flash flood threat. Let me see if I can pull up a graphic here that I was using earlier today and we used last night, and it looks at the tornado probability, and if that tornado probability itself is going to be on the higher side or if it's going to stay on the lower side now. And again, My guess is as we head through the rest of the evening, and when we have about 45 minutes to go here on our tornado watch. So there's the tornado watch still in effect for Henderson County. It does include Cherokee County and Rusk County, and then also the Panola County. Let me show you why. If we look at the tornado parameters, so this is taking into account the amount of wind shear still in the atmosphere, the amount of energy still in the atmosphere, and the amount of spin still in the atmosphere. Puts all those parameters together and it assigns a value. And so you're talking about a medium value here of about out of 10, about a 4 or a 5. And that's that cell coming out of Anderson County. So there's still a chance in western Cherokee County, northern Houston County to see a stronger thunderstorm that could produce a tornado warning. And it has popped back up a little bit, more on the low end, but it's a little higher than it was earlier this evening, back around center and in southern parts of Harrison County and even into southern Nacogdoches County, where that number's come up a tick or two. So there's still the threat for a quick spin up. I can't rule that out, but again, flash flooding is going to be the bigger threat. If you live in Tyler, Longview, Gilmer, Mineola, Canton, Athens, Jefferson, your tornado threat is over for the night. Just a small tornado threat remains over parts of deep East Texas, and otherwise, you're just talking about these severe threats winding down here as we head through the rest of the evening. All right, let me go back, and I just want to fast forward back to the radar here. Just got a couple of minutes before we take a break. Again, flash flood warnings are going to be our biggest story here. 945, Gregg, Harrison, Panola, Rusk County, but also Smith County included in that flash flood warning now until 9 o'clock. So that got upgraded till 9 o'clock for that flash flood warning in Smith County. And as I zoom in on this, you'll be able to see why we still have heavy rainfall occurring across southern ends of Smith County from Tyler back toward Troop and over toward Frankston. We also have quite a bit of thunder and lightning. All right, I'm just going to pop through this about as fast as possible. Want to get back to a different graphic here, just kind of give you a wide view. The rainfall goes all the way back to Waco, so we've got heavy rain for the next several hours. It is a rainy night. Rain is probably not going to quit till about midnight tonight across the area. So we appreciate you tuning in here to our CBS 19 Plus channel and also on our YouTube channel. And if you want to share this video with anyone on YouTube, please do that. On the Facebook page, we love it when you share this on our Facebook page. Also, if you have a comment question, please enter that below, and then we'll try to get back and answer that. You can see, if you look carefully, I'm just watching this along with you, these thunderstorms all just kind of have this same kind of rotating appearance to them. And so as we've headed through the afternoon, until we can get the front farther to the south, and you'll see one of these little right there, making it farther south of center. So we got to get the front pushing through there. Once it does, that essentially ends the tornado threat, but the flash flood threat, because those storms are training or moving along the stalling boundary, that keeps the showers and thunderstorms going. Tomorrow in deep East Texas, we may see additional showers and thunderstorms also popping up. We've had as much as 4 inches of rainfall across the area. I'm going to put together those totals for us and have those on CBS 19 News at 10 o'clock tonight. We may do another stream here coming up in an hour and a half, maybe closer to 9 o'clock, or maybe 9:15. We get some new data in, so in about 2 hours, we'll see where these thunderstorms are. We'll see what the threat level still is on the flash flooding, but we could come back on with another stream at that point on Facebook. And so keep checking back on Facebook and on the YouTube. Have those notifications turned on the YouTube, and then when we go live again, it'll pop back up, and then you can join us again. All right, so that's going to do it for this update here on CBS 19 Plus on our YouTube channel and our Facebook page. I do appreciate you taking time, spending it with me here this evening. But for now, I'm CBS 19 Chief Meteorologist